Yo guys, what is up? My name is Jurocraft, and I may have just come up with this crazy new way of building in Minecraft, at least so I thought. You see, this journey began while I was working on a map for one of my latest projects, and I thought it would be so much more interesting if we could actually add names to the map itself. Obviously, I then quickly realized that just by building some text up in the sky, updating the map, and later getting rid of the text actually leaves us with this newly upgraded map, with all the different zones named accordingly, which I thought was pretty cool, I'm not going to lie, but I soon had this epiphany thinking I stumbled into something new. But yes, after some research, I found that a lot of other great YouTubers had already used this technique to build their very own custom paintings, which I thought were just amazing. So I really wanted to find out if we could take this build concept a step further, beyond just paintings, to see just how many weird and wonderful things we could create. So guys, without further ado, let's begin today's adventure. Now, when I first came across this idea, I did what I think most people would do, and that was just to experiment by building a bunch of random shapes and designs, just to find out what they would look like on the actual map. This honestly kept me entertained for over 2 hours. I mean, most of us are stuck at home, so I guess we have a lot of time to kill. But I've been building in Minecraft for over 7 years, and only now have I just realized that you can place item frames on the ceiling, side by side, as well as on the floor. Now, this idea led me to what some people like to call the infinity room. Seeing as you can also walk straight through item frames, you can create a very confusing, endless looking box. Now obviously you can use all sorts of different colors and designs. I don't know if this is something you might want to use, but either way I thought I'd walk you through the process of just experimenting. Now guys, what I really wanted to find out was if we could actually use this build concept to decorate interiors with so-called furniture. You see, my first attempt was to try building some sort of glass cabinet, and seeing as I have 2 Minecraft accounts, I was able to view the map while actually building, which was extremely helpful. But here's the thing, the design might look really interesting on the map itself, but I don't necessarily think it looks as good when you place them up against a wall. I think we need to avoid these flat surfaces and actually try adding some sort of texture in order for this to match Minecraft's general style. Now we might as well also build the bottom half of the cabinet, using that same style, just building some very fancy detailed looking drawers. But honestly, once you're happy with the overall look of the furniture, you can create different versions of that same map to put together some crazy looking interiors. And as you can see, I've managed to build this very detailed looking wine cellar, filling the cabinets with bottles of wine, glass cups, cobwebs and spiders, even some broken bottles. And this really goes to show just how much you can do using this technique. It's pretty much limitless. Now I do understand that building these maps can take a very long time to do considering their size, but honestly if you do manage to build 2 or 3 different furniture blueprints, you can totally reuse those designs to build all kinds of decorations. So I've also used this so-called furniture to build and decorate a small library just by replacing those wine bottles with tons and tons of books. Now I really do love this build concept, so I do want to try one last design idea for a kind of basement hidden potions lab. This was one of my favorite designs to put together. There are all kinds of colorful potions, jars full of ingredients, a full bat skeleton, and even a jar full of eyeballs. Yes, so again, this is pretty much limitless and simply down to your own imagination. Now some people might argue that these designs may be a bit too detailed to match with Minecraft's general style, which I do kind of agree with. So for this next experiment, we are going to try and replicate an entire Minecraft block, or at least the actual texture. This definitely took me back to the time we built a giant Minecraft house, but thankfully not as complicated. This was pretty much like working with a giant jigsaw puzzle. Now, I did manage to get the cobblestone to practically look like an identical replica. The only issue is the fact the cobblestone looks a lot brighter than normal. But this is definitely still quite difficult to notice, especially if you don't know about this trick. Now, of course, you can use these cobblestone maps to cover an entire room, but you're probably wondering what's the point? Well, there's actually quite a few things you can do with this. For one, you can easily create a secret entrance because, of course, you guys know you can walk straight through the wall. All you have to do is add some signs or any other block that gives you space to walk through. But guys, the best part is I found some interesting ways of being able to prank your friends. Now, I've never done pranks before, so I'll let you guys be the judge of this. But what I did was replicate some brown carpets, and trust me, I did try my best to get those colors right. But this was a bit of a mess to put together. But if you do manage to get this right, you can build a place like this one, where the trick here is anyone who walks over this carpet will basically fall to their death. But guys, if you do want to make your life easier, I would recommend creating some fake snow. It's by far the easiest and cheapest to make, although it does still take 16,000 snow blocks, but at least you don't have to worry about complicated designs and shapes like this monstrosity. There is only one thing you need to watch out for, and that is how you place these blocks, because depending on what angle you place them will also depend on what shade of color will appear on the actual map. So again, I would recommend building a staircase facing south in order to get that brightest shade of white. But guys, the thing is, you can cover entire ravines with these item frames, and it's almost impossible to notice, unless of course you're a Minecraft OG. But anyone wandering the snow plains not paying too much attention will definitely fall straight into your trap. Of course, if traps are not your thing, you can always just use this design as a way to hide the entrance into your secret base. But here's another interesting way of really messing with people's emotions, and this is by far my favorite prank because you can literally recreate the entire diamond ore texture, giving you the cheeky opportunity to go and scatter these item frames all over your Minecraft server to really drive people insane. In fact, I actually found someone who did this during the making of this video. I managed to track down his Reddit post and YouTube channel, so I'll put links to that in the description. But I really do love this idea, and if you're any good with redstone, you can easily rig these item frames to blow up with TNT, at least if you do feel like being that extra bit savage. Now, of course, all these ideas were really fun to put together, but I still had to try creating my very own pixel art paintings, and this is where things get rather interesting. You see, I found a way to make almost instant map art using World Painter. You guys know I use this program all the time, and it's pretty much part of the process when it comes to making these epic projects. Now, normally I would use custom brushes to make mountains, but the thing is, custom brushes are simply just black and white images, which means you can pretty much use any black and white image and use that as a custom brush instead, which is just crazy. So let's take, for example, this random black and white picture of Rick. All I have to do is place this image into the custom brushes folder, and behold, we have an instant mountain brush, except it's in the shape of Rick. Then all I have to do is jump back onto Minecraft, change some of those colors, and we have practically created a 2-block wide poster in just 5 minutes. Obviously, some images do work better than others, but nonetheless, I did create a bunch of rooms featuring these designs, building of course the Rick poster, as well as designing a dragon-themed hall featuring the symbol of House Targaryen from Game of Thrones. But my favorite design by far was this Stranger Things inspired portal room. I just love the look of this, although it might have been a lot better using the new 1.16 Minecraft blocks just because of how alien they look, but I'm kind of saving that for a future video, maybe even an epic build based on Stranger Things, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure there are still tons of different ideas, designs, and even new textures you could create using item frame maps, but I hope this list sparked your imagination. I hope you consider subscribing, and I will catch you guys in the next one.